So let me start here with a very, very short history about binary data types. And it all started a long, long time ago, sometime in the 1980s. And it was really hard to find out when long and long row started, but we assume it started in Oracle version 4, which was many, many years ago. Then in 8i, we introduced a great new feature, and we said, okay, long and long raw, this was yesterday. And by the way, they are still supported in the database. And as you can see in our own dictionary, we use them here and there. But we said with 8i, look, so many limitations. We have now the BLOBs and the CLOBs. And in 10G, we said, BLOBs and CLOBs, there were some limitations with that. We introduce now the secure file LOBs, which are still LOB data types, but new implementation in our code. From your perspective, you use them the same way, but we store them differently and we allow way more benefits. When we introduced them shortly after, we renamed the 8i old LOBs into basic file LOBs and said, okay, we have the basic file LOBs, the traditional old thing, and now we have the more advanced secure file LOBs. So I said already that long and long raw has so many restrictions, and this is why you really shouldn't use them these days anymore, even though some legacy apps still use them. You have limitations like only one long or long raw column per table. You have size limitations like 2 GB minus 1 byte, which maybe in Oracle version 4 times was like already a lot, where a database was big when it had like 10 GB. But today, I know, 2 GB is not a lot. So we extended this quite a bit. I think you can get up to 8 exabyte with the right DB block size. And of course, the LOBs we introduced in 8i have a lot of benefits over long and long raw. Still, with data pump, we found out there are also some constraints. And you may have seen this as well. And this is why we wanted to include that chapter into our virtual classroom seminar here. Data pump can act with one worker only on basic file LOBs, and you see performance constraints. So this is one of the reasons why we said with 10G, look, we introduce now secure file LOBs, new implementation, and data pump can work actively with multiple workers on such tables with secure file LOBs inside. We improved the performance and we added extra features such as deduplication when you have the advanced compression option, or also the encryption of a LOB column with the advanced security option. As of today, all legacy binary data types should have been migrated to secure file LOBs, and you will see we repeat this message several times throughout this seminar because it's really important to mention that. When you import, make this a standard in your data pump par file. Say always transform equals LOB storage colon secure file. Then you don't have to care. And a basic file LOB in the export dump file will be transformed into a secure file LOB upon import. This doesn't hurt, and you should include this as a general best practice. Then when we look now closer at LOBs inside a database, we see that internal LOBs stored inside the database when you have CLOB, NCLOB, or BLOB. So it's kept into that database, into your files. While we also store LOB data outside the database, or you store them, and we add just a pointer. And this is when we use B files. So it's a pointer in the database pointing to an external file on storage on disk. Secure file LOBs are controlled by an initialization parameter called db_securefile, which got introduced in 10G days as well. And originally it was set to permitted. Now, I think in 11 or 12, we changed this to preferred, which means unless you specify that you want to have an old basic file LOB, you always would get a secure file LOB. As long as your table space is automatic segment space managed, which we assume is the default. Hopefully, none of you has still locally managed table spaces. So you should then get secure file lobs when somebody says create table, blah, blah, blah. With a blob column, for instance, it will be a secure file lob.